Welcome to Sage-Based Wisdom. I'm Jana Schmieding.
And I'm Brian Bahe.
And we're podcasting to you from the sacred homelands of Universal Studios.
Florida. Today, we'll be giving you, our listeners, some advice cultivated indigenously from our backgrounds in landscape architecture.
And growing new plants from that original plant.
We have a great show for you.
Brian doesn't know how to just not read the copy for the intro that we've done seemingly hundreds of times now. So he just goes on to the next line willy-nilly.
Incredible.
Whether we have a guest or not, he's going to say that we do.
Wait, my plant that you gave me of that is doing really well.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. I'm shocked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you just sort of keeping it in water?
Keeping it in water, giving it sunlight. I lean my phone against it when I watch TikTok and eat at the table.
I love that. Plants are great for that.
Yeah.
I do a lot of clipping when I clip my plants, because if you keep it, the tendrils will grow down. Mm-hmm. And if you want it to be bushy at the base, you clip the tendrils that fall down and you replant them so that it sort of maintains a bush at the top. Otherwise, it looks very hangy.
Yeah. Wow.
So I try to keep the tendrils short. Anyway, Bri, shall we jump into the algorithm?
Let's do it.
What have you been getting in the algorithm? Or what have I been getting? What have we been getting in the algorithm?
We have been getting a lot of this.
A whole lot of this.
Stop catastrophizing every move a guy makes early in dating. If you read every little pullback or pause as the guy losing interest, that's exactly what you're going to end up manifesting. So remember, always assume the best. Gather good information and evidence before you make any assumptions. By assuming the best, you'll also make some guys lean back in and demonstrate your value and worth. However, if you assume the worst, you're going to crash every situation. So make sure when you're unsure, give the situation the benefit of the doubt and gather good information and evidence before you draw your lines.
Don't be dramatic. Don't jump to conclusions.
I didn't. That was a crazy.
When you show this, you're gonna see. Don't be dramatic. Don't jump to conclusions. A title card at the very end of this video. That's like.
But also, it's a very white Australian man speaking into his phone. But there's a sticker on the screen.
There's two stickers.
One of them is Black History Month.
One of them is Black History Month. One of them is a deer, just a doe, GIF of a doe. Okay. I hate this advice.
Really, I a little bit like it.
Okay, why do you like it?
Because I am prone to
catastrophizing.
To catastrophize in this person's words in a way, to use this person's vernacular.
Yeah, because this person is saying catastrophizing, but they're not talking about that.
Yeah.
They're talking about a relationship where somebody's feelings got hurt.
But they're also saying to don't assume the worst, but they're also but in a way it's kind of they're basically saying ignore the red flags.
Yes. Not ignore red flags. Ignore how you might feel about a situation.
Yeah, but it's if something is telling you that something's not right, it's because it probably is not right.
It's not right.
And you need to trust your instincts.
Yeah, and that's not catastrophizing if you're hey, that sucked what you said or did. This person's basically saying, this man is saying, hey, don't overreact. First, find all the evidence that supports your argument, and then go take that to them and draw the line.
Yeah.
No. If somebody hurts your feelings, especially in a romantic relationship, just tell them that they hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
It's not drawing a line in the sand if you say to somebody that you love,
yeah,
hey, that sucked. I feel bad about the way you said that or what you did. I don't need to create a fucking I don't need to hire an attorney and create a case.
I also the whole jumping to conclusions thing too is kind of just like, but that is what decision making is essentially. It's kind of like you're like, wait, somebody did a thing and I'm like not on board with it.
You know, actually the jumping to conclusions part of it. So let's like put this in
Let's
context.
break it down.
Let's put this in context. You and I are dating. We're boyfriend and girlfriend. It's a heterosexual relationship that we're having. And you say to me, actually don't want to go on a date tonight. I think like I'm tired, I don't feel well, and I know we planned it for the week, but I'm bowing out.
Which I have done.
And it happens, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking in my mind, not that this hasn't happened to me recently. In my mind, I'm thinking, what the hell? I have been planning all week. Like, just because you're like having a bad day or it's a hard time, like now we're just canceling the plans. Okay, great. Now I could jump to a conclusion that, oh my God, he's not attracted to me. He doesn't want to go on a date. He's bored.
He's making an excuse.
He's bored. That is jumping to a conclusion. And I do think that is unnecessary.
Yeah.
The thing that is not necessary is gathering a bunch of evidence to support how I feel. That's not necessary, because that is saying basically lean into the intent of the message and as opposed to the impact. You know how people in social justice say intent versus impact. It's not about intent, it's about impact. I think that is also true in personal relationships. It doesn't matter if you meant to hurt my feelings or not by canceling the date.
Right.
I assume you don't mean to hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
I'm going in with the assumption, I'm assuming best intentions. You are genuinely tired.
Yeah.
I'm not going to jump to conclusions. And you know what? Still, my feelings are hurt. I'm kind of bummed out that like we're not going to go on a date because you have been saying all week that you can't wait for this date. I can't wait for this date. I'm like excited. You're blue balling me out of a date.
Yeah.
Basically. It's okay for me to, without evidence and like drawing conclusions, to come to you and say, I'm sad. That bums me out.
Yeah.
And you get to just be like, I'm so sorry that I upset you. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Like, I don't want you to be upset. And you know, you get to apologize. And then I get to be like, okay, we carry on.
Yeah. What's interesting about that scenario is I literally experienced that same exact thing with somebody. Not recently, but it was like one of the more, it was this guy who I like started dating as soon as I moved to LA. And the day, it was like Halloween weekend. We'd been dating for maybe like 2 or 3 months. It was Halloween weekend. He was like really excited to go to like his brother's Halloween party or something. And I was excited too. Yeah. But I ate something weird for lunch that day. Okay. And so by the time the evening rolled around, I was like very much not feeling well. And I was like, do I cancel? Do I not cancel? And I think I wait until like the last minute. And I was like, I think I have to cancel. So I did cancel. He calls me and he's like really upset. He's like, I was looking forward to tonight. Like, I'm really bummed that you're canceling. It just feels like, you know, that you might be making an excuse. But I was like on the couch, just like not feeling well. And I think, and then it just sparked this conversation. I was like, I feel terrible. Yeah. I hate that I canceled last minute. Yeah. But I don't think I can like be at a party right now. Yeah. And he understood that too.
Did you apologize? Did you say, I'm so sorry?
I did. Yeah. And I think he was just like a little bit, I think it like really hurt him. Yeah. And so that conversation ended. I think we didn't talk for a few days. And then I think my reaction to that conversation though because I'm a little bit unwell. I was basically just like, I didn't realize we were to this level of like commitment, and it kind of spooked me in a way.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So if I were to look back, the thing that spooked you was that you felt this intimidation by the closeness of him reacting that way, that he was actually affected by you.
Yeah.
And, I had this similar situation happen with Steve, my long-term monogamous boyfriend, the other night. And he said he felt really bad that he had canceled a thing with me. And I said, yeah, I'm really sad about it. I'm disappointed, but that's okay. I'll get over it. And he said, yeah, I just don't like that you're sad. I don't like that you're bummed out.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't like that I affected you. Like my thing affected you. And I said, yeah, because that's what a relationship is we are affecting each other.
Yeah.
What we do and what we say has weight to it. And it's okay to affect each other.
Yeah.
Like that's what being involved with somebody is. And it happens even when we're just fucking somebody. It happens even then.
Yes. Because then, so then ultimately what I got out of this interaction with this guy was that it made me think like, is this person somebody who I actually want to have a more serious relationship with? And it kind of forced that question upon me in a way, or maybe I forced it on myself. And my answer was no. I was like, I don't think this is somebody that I like really want to seriously date.
Great.
And so that happened. And I think like what maybe our caller is missing is like...
Oh, that's not a caller. That's TikTok. Let's be very clear. This Australian, we do not know this man.
We don't know.
Well, my friend said this really interesting thing to me.
We do not know this Australian man with Black Lives Matter on his TikTok about ignoring red flags.
But it's almost like people should be affected because it sparks more kind of just like reflection and like conversation. And
because it sparks connection of some kind.
Yeah, it makes you think.
Impacting people means that we are inadvertently connecting. Like we are that's what people are meant to do. Is connect with other people. And I think that it's good that like it urged a different conversation.
Yes.
Do I want to really affect this person?
Yeah.
And do I want them to affect me?
Yeah.
If it's a no, then that makes itself very clear.
Yeah.
With somebody like Steve, I am reminding him and reminding myself, no, we do affect each other and we want to. That's a good thing that we affect each other. Let's try to have our effect be positive. Yeah. Like, let's try to, we're always going to get our fucking feelings hurt. It's going to happen because we affect each other. But let's intentionally make that effect be a nice one.
Yeah.
Let's try to positively impact each other.
Yeah.
The more we know that we affect each other, this is like what works with like addicts too. Have you ever watched the show
My Strange Addiction?
No. My Strange Addiction. Oh my god, that fucking show. So fucking cool.
Addict, you go to a guy who can't stop eating his couch.
I can't stop eating my couch foam. It's so strange. I'm thinking of Intervention. Intervention is
also so good.
Yes, so fucking good and so intense and so sad, so dark.
Crazy. I need to rewatch actually.
Yeah, but the overwhelming thing that ultimately the intervention, what the intervention is doing is it's a family coming together to surround their relative with love and to say your addiction is impacting us in the following ways. You have an effect on us. Your addiction has an effect on us. Your behavior has an effect on us. We are affected deeply by your addiction. And that is the thing that usually, hopefully, based on the premise of the show, that intervention, telling somebody that they affect you, is the thing that moves them toward treatment.
Yeah.
That they're like, holy fuck, I'm not out here alone, just a person wandering around independent of affecting people. No, my actions really do affect people.
Yes.
I need to be a healed person so that I'm affecting people in a good way and not just giving them constant stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
And they're saying it out of love.
Yeah.
That they're reminding you with love.
Yeah.
You affect me.
Yeah.
So it is actually a good thing when you have your feelings hurt by somebody. This is something I'm learning because I'm I was raised in passive aggressiveness, and I really speak the language of passive aggressiveness very well.
I thrive there.
I thrive there. It's so bad.
Yeah.
And I am so bad at confrontation.
Yeah.
And any little confrontation that I have with my boyfriend, I erupt in tears. I fucking freak out because my nervous system doesn't like it. But I'm trying to remind myself that, like, it is important when you feel affected by somebody that you tell them.
I agree 100%. And it's so hard to do
Positively
sometimes.
or negatively.
Yes. Oh, positively for sure.
Absolutely.
That's also something I'm learning. It's like,
Yeah. Tell somebody when they have done something that has, like, impacted you, or, like, whenever I have like a dream about somebody, I always text them. I'm like, I had a dream about you and blah, 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 blah. This is what happened. And like, or like, talking about how somebody has impacted your life. Like, that's so meaningful.
Yeah.
So meaningful.
I agree. We have more power than we think.
We really do. So yeah, I think that this guy is fucking wrong.
He's wrong. I think he's like, if he just like thought about it a little bit more, he probably could come to a more helpful conclusion.
Yeah.
But this is actually what's wrong with society is that everybody's trying to make front-facing
lawyering
videos.
up. Exactly. Everybody's making front-facing videos in their car.
Yeah, trying to
every man is doing
make a
that.
mic dropping point about something, and it's kind of like,
honey,
no, queen.
Yeah. Also on the thing where he's like, build a case, like get all of your evidence. I used to do that too, where I would be like, okay, I'm in this friendship that is toxic and I'm kind of keeping track, or like I'm keeping score,
Yeah.
And I'm like kind of keeping a mental checklist of all the ways that this person has affected me or like done something fucked up, but I'm not telling them. I'm sort of just keeping track. And so then when the fucking straw that breaks the camel's back, this person does something really stupid or shitty, and it may not even be a huge thing that they did.
Yeah.
They do something small.
Yeah.
But it is just like kind of the last straw. Then I come at them with this litany of complaints that I've been tallying over time. And I'm like, this shit is over. Instead of trying to make it work by telling them in the moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That sucks.
Yeah.
For me.
The list is crazy.
And the list is crazy. And it's a bunch of tiny, tiny little microaggressions that have built up over
and you're letting
long.
it build up.
Totally.
And you're just kind of like, if you just brought it up sooner.
I've been playing this game too. Yeah. And it sucks.
It really sucks. I think if we can learn anything from this video, it's never listen to an Australian.
Never listen to an Australian.
Australians on paper are psychotic.
Yep.
It's a country.
It's a country
made of lunatics.
Who were criminals
that were brought to an island.
Sent.
Yeah, sent to an island.
Sent to an island that they then colonized.
Yeah.
Great Britain colonized. And it's much like
and now
the States.
Now they have access to the internet. They're they're running rampant out here.
Fucking insane. Yeah, don't fucking believe a front-facing video by an Australian man about relationships. Honey, he's in his car.
Yeah, go get on a fucking surfboard and call it a day.
Do something useful with your time. Get on a surfboard or a skateboard. Okay, should we listen to our first caller?
Yeah.
Our first caller. Let's listen to our only caller.
Hi, Jana and Brian. First, let me say I'm a total slut for sage-based wisdom. I love you guys.
Hell yeah.
It's like the highlight of my week, listening to you give your sagiest, sluttiest advice, and I love it. I've got a couple of questions. I am kind of a funny gal. I'm that office personality hire, and I've been thinking about getting into improv.
It's giving CG.
I know, Jana, you're an improv girly, and I've never done it before. So, what kind of advice do you have for somebody getting started on the stage? Also, I have been working on starting a podcast, and I'm in this little pickle where I'm starting to edit my episodes, and I'm giving myself the worst cringe. And I don't even feel like I'm doing anything in particularly cringy except just finally being myself or like using my voice. And as I listen to myself,
Sort of the epitome of cringe.
Yeah.
Just cringing so hard. Like, why do I think that I am worthy of creating a platform or doing anything like this? I know that you are the perfect people to ask for some advice on this. So,
I'm about to go off.
what do you got?
Allow me to go the fuck off. First of all, every fucking single man on this planet has a fucking podcast, bitch. You can have one too. Do you know how many unnecessary podcasts exist in this universe? If nobody wants to listen to it, then they won't listen to it. Who cares?
Yes.
Who cares? Make a platform, make a podcast, post your Instagrams, make it earnest. Make your captions earnest.
And I will say the kind of just like having a little bit of cringe, it's kind of almost a good thing.
Honey, you're talking about getting involved in improv. Talking about cringe. It's
talking about making yourself cringe is because that means you actually have a little bit of a conscience. You're you are like, wait, what the fuck am I doing? But everybody who's made anything has had that. And they've had to deal with it. And sometimes they listen to it. Sometimes they ignore it. You get better at like navigating that. And it just comes, it's a part of the process, the creative process, I feel like.
Yeah. I think also we're kind of moving into a post-cringe society where we are now embracing cringe culturally. We're saying, actually, the cringe movement is
dead. The cringe movement is why Trump got elected.
I do think that I heard I saw a TikTok the other day about,
I feel like I've seen something similar,
about how it's a conspiracy, that there's a conspiracy theory that Gen Z's cringe culture aversion is a psyop.
No, I feel
Russian.
Like
it's a Russian psyop to
yes.
to get Gen Zs to not vote.
Yeah.
To not vote. Like, oh no, it wasn't about cringe. It's about Gen Z's aversion to millennial culture. That it's a Russian psyop to get Gen Z to not vote like millennials voted.
That's so fucking funny.
And to not be as politically involved
and it's
in voting.
Borderline believable.
It is fucking believable, dude. It's so believable because Gen Z folks didn't fucking vote.
They are trying to not feel anything.
Yes.
And they're trying to not be felt.
Yes.
And that is going to leave you
high and dry.
Then it's like the people, you're at that point, you're just kind of like, leaves in the wind and blown in whatever direction, the powers want you to.
You know whose podcast I started listening to is Amy Poehler's podcast. It is so
Smartless.
Not Smartless.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Good feeling or something.
Yeah.
Good times. I don't know. it's so earnestly funny and silly and just comedy people talking about comedy. Talk about a cringy ass lady who loves cringe. Like that's like to me, like it's cringe to be on SNL. Like it's cringe to be a comedy person. It's cringe to have a podcast at all. It's cringe to like post a selfie. You can look fucking anything and call it cringe.
Yeah.
My boyfriend Steve, sorry to bring it back to Steve, he always tells me when he's like, I had this very funny comment on somebody's Instagram and it was this, and it's always the cringiest comment. It's so Gen X. It's so funny. And it makes me laugh harder than anything else is when Steve posts on the internet. It is the funniest thing.
It's so
and he
funny.
thinks it's so funny too because it is like legit like Gen Xer comments like, oh God, it's the best.
Wait, I actually need to know what some of these are now.
I'll think about them and I'll pull some up because they're just so fucking funny. But yeah, like I feel like Amy Poehler's the same way where she's like, she talks earnestly about comedy. She talks earnestly about her process. She talks earnestly about like friendships and shit. You know, it's like,
yeah,
that is so easily like so cringy. But why? Why is that cringe?
It's not.
It's not.
It's not
like,
cringe at all.
If everything is cringe, then also nothing is cringe.
Yeah. I think cringe needs to be eliminated from our vocabulary in a way.
Right.
And okay, this is good that you're starting improv, which I think is really interesting when cringe comes into the conversation, because improv is truly the cringiest thing
so cringe
you could ever fucking do in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doing an organic opening and being like, this is cool.
But it's like, I remember doing my very first improv was like, it was at a short form improv theater in Phoenix. And I was maybe like a sophomore in college. I went with my friend. And I remember doing it and being like, this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever done.
You're doing the goofiest ass warm-ups. It's so embarrassing.
So goofy. Everybody like there has to introduce themselves and be like, I'm like whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's like people, like I'm like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Like get me out of here.
Yeah.
And I got the fuck out. But then a year later I went back. And
why?
I think it's because I knew I had to do it.
You had to?
Not necessarily, but it's like,
what were you going back to do?
The same type of like improv shit.
Yeah, but why? What? Like, what was it?
I think it's because I was so obsessed with comedy, and I was like, I want to do it.
I want to be good at comedy.
That was my only entryway in at that point, I think.
Yeah.
And so I went back, and I was able to turn off the part of my brain that was labeling stuff as cringe.
Yes.
And you just kind of like are in that moment.
Yep.
And it was like so fun and enlightening.
Yeah.
And
totally.
Yeah.
I feel this way about art, period, which is like you have to turn off the police in your brain.
Yeah.
And like freely do your art and like be completely bought in to it, because otherwise you have a literal critic in your mind telling you like what you're doing is embarrassing and stupid, and like we don't need that.
Yeah.
There's so much of that in the world already that's telling us what we are doing is stupid and ugly and fucking losery. There's so much of that already.
Yeah.
Don't let yourself be the fucking barrier to trying something you want to try.
Exactly.
It's already so humiliating to live in this world. Don't also add the pressure of yourself being like, yeah, you're an embarrassment.
Cringe is the exit ramp you have to take to get to your dreams.
God, Brian, sing it on high. Praise Jesus.
Yeah, the only way out is through.
That's right.
And you got to get through.
And you must go through the cringe. I also think improv, for what it's worth, and maybe this is the cringiest shit in the world to say. Don't give a fuck. I've said it in so many places on so many different. I also, as you know, was a teacher for many years. I use so much of my improv training in my education. I know tons of people who I did improv with who are like, huge improv nerds who took their improv teaching and training into their workplaces. It's a very effective tool to skill build around relationship building, communication skills, sort of self-awareness, sharing space with other people, like the ability to like give focus to people and just listen intently with the processing time, like practicing processing what somebody is saying in real time and reacting to that. Like the way that I got some of the best acting training in improv, I go into auditions sometimes and I can tell that people who have not studied improv are in these auditions sweating, doing stuff that because I did improv for so long, not a problem. Not a problem to improvise, not a problem to roll with the punches. Like, it not only has made me a better performer, it has made me a better communicator, it has made me a better person. It has taught me about such huge life lessons. Improv has taught me about failure and how fun and exciting failure can be.
Totally.
And the necessity of failure in life to get to a better place. Like the lessons are abound.
What's crazy about improv is that I love shitting on it so much.
Same.
But I do think it is so important.
It is.
I think improv is like when I did it when I was like in college, and I think that was the perfect time to do it because there's a lot of rules in improv and it's like a lot of learning. And I think a lot of people come into improv like as adults and they're not that part of like learning and like being open to like doing stuff. Yeah, that's like they don't do that anymore. Yeah. So they go into it being like, oh, it's like hashtag random like Mad Libs vibes or whatever, and it's not. It's actually like there are rules.
There's
and
rules and a framework, and it is so helpful to understand them.
Yes, and you need to learn what that is before you can like make it good and fun.
And I think improv, like something like I used to teach other teachers, other adults. I used to teach improv as professional development because teachers, like a lot of professional people in different professions, have a really hard time blowing it, like kind of sucking at something and then trying again. Like, really, like it's a lesson for adults in like how to be playful about failure. That is like something that is so necessary for us to get out of our like perfectionist complexes and like, just being able to like try again the next day.
To literally try again. Trying again is so hard.
Trying again is hard, but it's also like, when you try again and again, when you practice something, improv, that's another thing that you learn from improv, that actually practicing something makes you better. Yeah. It's like, oh, I actually can grow. I can get better at something. Like I'm not at a certain age where like my ability to grow has stopped, Yeah. You can grow at any age, and it's just all it takes is practice. Yeah. It's so stupid that these like fundamental things about life have been lost on us, and it takes something as cringy as improv to get us back in touch with it. But what a fun life lesson to have to be cringy as fuck.
Yes.
To learn something so fundamental.
And it's like, what's fun about improv too, I'm glad this caller is going to take it, and I encourage them to do so.
Same.
And even if, I think you already said this, but like whatever happens, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I think it's going to open your brain a little bit.
Yeah.
And maybe you're funny as hell.
Yeah.
And
worst case scenario, you walk away with a friend.
Yeah. Common interest.
A new friend, common interest. Like, that's the worst case scenario.
Yeah. The improvisers that I improvise with are so, they were all really cool. Mm-hmm. Every once in a while, there would be a stinker.
Oh God, I've known a lot of fucking stinkers. But I got to be so integrated into a community of comedians and improvisers that I knew who I wanted to play with, and I had like people that I would consistently play with and do shows with. That was just like, those shows were so fucking fun and so funny. Like when improv is good and you get good at it, it's really fucking funny.
Have I told you that like during my early days in improv, I'm pretty sure there's got to be video of it somewhere, and we should watch it.
I will pay money to watch that shit. I really will.
Shout out, yeah.
I desperately want to see you doing
Women's
improv.
co-ed softball was our team name.
My New York Improv Theater, The Magnet, shout out, recently had a 20-year anniversary of the theater.
Whoa.
And I got invited to go back to New York and play with like old teams. And
Whoa.
You know, I couldn't make it, but all like I was on this group email chain with all the old teammates. Shout out Chet Watkins. And it was I like was in Alberta shooting this movie while these text messages or these like emails were coming through, and I was just like I was just like fucking like rattled into the past. It was crazy, like what kind of memories and feelings this email chain about doing a show in New York was bringing up. Like these voices from my past that I did some of the most cringy fucking improv with.
Yeah.
Are just like, hey, you guys want to meet up for this thing? And I was just like, oh my God. Like I haven't heard from this guy in fucking forever. Like wonder what the fuck he's doing.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I recently asked to be added to this email list of this improv practice. And I'm thinking about starting back up.
think you should.
You think I should?
You know, I was thinking about that the other day when I helped you with an audition. I was like, Brian should get back into improv.
That's what made me
Yeah.
ask to be signed up. So I think I'm going to do it.
Love a good tune-up after years of not doing it.
I know. I'm so curious to see what
You'll be so good.
Okay.
It to me, it's like riding a bike, but with more life experience, you have a deeper range of emotional responses.
My taxes. That's me initiating a scene.
My taxes.
Oh, no. It's April 15th.
Oh, wait. There were the LA fires, which postponed it to October. Woo! Good and scene.
My favorite part was swiping a scene. That was my favorite part about improv, because you could like
running in front and wiping it away.
And editing a scene. Yeah, because then you could be like, LOL.
My least favorite thing is tagging out.
You hate it when it happens to you, or you hate doing it?
I hate doing it.
Why?
Because what if the joke doesn't land? Because when you tag somebody out, you're replacing them and you're doing a different response. You know,
different
you're
response, but the other person's staying in their same character, essentially.
Right. And so you're basically like moving the scene to a different location, a different context.
Right.
But that one line that you tag in with has to fucking hit.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure.
If you don't have the right joke, you shouldn't be tagging in unless it makes the joke better. And I was always just like, is it? But the times when it does land, when the tag out works and it you do a great line and then the lights go out because it's a blackout line, it's just like
something that really stuck with me about improv is a tag out situation and editing a scene situation. When you're on the back line, you're not in the scene, you're just kind of on the back line. And I remember a teacher being like, if you have the urge to like jump in, whether it's edit, tag out, be add a character to the scene, it's probably you need to follow that. And which is something that because I'm like overthink everything. I'm hesitant. But when I actually did follow that advice and like just if like I felt my body like a little bit move forward, then I followed that, it ended up going well. And I'm like, I need to listen to my intuition more.
What an interesting life lesson that when you take a big swing or do something scary, usually the outcome is good. It makes things better.
Yeah.
See, this is how improv is so fucking genius, man. It sucks because it's like acting. You know,
Yeah.
that's what makes it cringy is that it's
Yes.
like acting, but
Yeah.
like the ways in which it has so much relevance to our lives, fucking wild.
Crazy. We're gonna find out in maybe 100 years that maybe
That we are spiritually elevated because we've done improv comedy.
yeah, improv will somehow be tied to like the secrets of the universe in some way.
God, you know what I love more than improv?
Sketch.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yep.
is that really what you're gonna say?
Yep.
Sometimes,
Sketch is my girl.
sometimes I'm not sure how I feel about sketch. Sometimes I love it, and sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I never, because I did sketch too in New York. I did like the UCB classes, and then I had like a little group, and we like put on 2 shows, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I just like it just wasn't what I was looking for. But what's your experience?
I hosted a solo sketch, like a character show, and I was an early character show host. This is when like Just for Laughs, sort of the character thing
Right.
started to happening, and my friend Lauren Olson and I started a character show called Jana and Lauren Presents, where we just had a rotation of like several solo characters doing one character. And I was a part of so many sketch shows just all over the city, and directed a lot of sketch comedy, directed a lot of like, and like getting to that point was like, I know what I'm fucking doing. I know how to write sketch. I know how to perform sketch. I was very good at performing sketch. It is something that makes me think that I would be great on SNL as a
I can
as a host.
100%
I
see
would
you.
fucking
You would
slay
crush.
on SNL.
You would crush.
Man. But I just love the whole process of creating a sketch show.
Yeah. I love watching sketch, and I think the reason it's because I wasn't that good at writing or acting in sketches, I think.
Yeah, it's hard.
And it's so hard.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think
Did you watch sketch like on TV?
I loved SNL, loved Mad TV, all that.
Did you ever get into like Bob and David?
I did watch
Mr.
Bob and
Show?
David. Yeah, Mr. Show.
God damn, I love Mr. Show.
Young Bob Odenkirk.
Oh yeah, we've
Man
talked
of my
about
dreams.
this.
Have we?
Yeah.
Oh, we've talked about present day Bob.
I mean, we've talked about young Bob Odenkirk. I think.
Young Bob Odenkirk is wild.
Yeah. David Cross till I die.
Really?
I love David Cross.
Interesting.
I love his stand up. I love him. Yeah. And Bob Odenkirk.
I love it. And then
Chappelle Show.
So fucking
good.
Yeah, I think it's like I loved watching it, but it's just like I think I wanted that outcome immediately, and I was just like so burnt out, I think.
Yeah.
And, like, to start another thing felt like insurmountable in a way.
There was a period of time where I had like several sketch shows happening at the same time, and
That's
I was just
incredible.
like, this is my favorite life to live.
Yeah.
And then doing like this Saturday night improv show, it's just like constantly doing comedy.
You're like making me want to throw together an improv / sketch group and like put something.
Do it.
Okay.
I encourage anybody who has the impulse or urge to
Same.
Enroll in improv classes, comedy classes of any kind, and you have access to one in your city, fucking do it. It's something to do. It's so fun. Again, worst case scenario, you walk away with a friend or two. Like,
You walk away with a friend or two.
life lessons. It's just the best.
You get to sometimes like that was my first like dipping my toe into show business in a way.
Yeah.
And that was so fascinating to me because I'm like, this is absolutely new to me.
Yeah.
Like a call time, a green room, a
Yeah.
fucking warm up. It's a show for maybe 4 people in the audience, but it's still a show, and it's like a live production.
Yeah.
It's like really, it's like a great experience.
It's such a great experience. Performing for an audience is like the best.
Totally.
I know a lot of people are like, I would rather fucking shoot a heroin needle into my under my toenail.
So specific.
yeah. But that's to me, it's the fucking best feeling in the world.
Yeah,
it's like making people
absolutely.
laugh and making people laugh.
It's really crazy.
Doing improv is what a boner. Speaking of improv, Bri.
Yeah. what's my relationship with?
Have you ever made out with another improviser? Have
No,
you ever
I
had
will
a
say-
Have you ever had an improv crush? Because here's one thing I'm going to
I've
say
had-
to our caller about improv.
Yeah.
It is a cult.
Incestuous.
It is a cult, and they're going to try to get you into the cult.
And they're gonna try to make a move. There's a caller. You're gonna have a lot of fun in that improv class, but there will be one guy who will be a little bit too like
and he a little too touchy.
a little too touchy. And,
He's going to want to do a makeout scene.
and you should call him out immediately.
Yeah.
And
And your teacher will probably also
your
call him out a lot.
teacher will also probably call him out.
But he's going to wear the ugliest shoes you've ever fucking seen, and he's going to smell bad. And he's probably going to have a beard with crumbs in it.
But have I ever done anything with improv? When I did improv in Arizona, I was still cosplaying as straight.
Right.
So, but there was one guy who I was like, this guy's so hot. But he was also probably like in his mid 30s.
Uh-huh.
And I was like probably like 20, 21.
Always with the older men.
But also everybody at that improv theater was like in their mid 30s.
Uh-huh.
They would like hang out with each other, and like I would come into class and they're like talking about what they did that weekend. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, cool.
Yeah, you were not on the invite list yet.
Yeah.
But what about New York?
In New York, no, I think like for me, when I started doing comedy, I tried to treat it like a workplace.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I was like,
Shitting where I eat.
I can't shit where I eat. It
Same.
seems so crazy because I saw people around me doing that.
Yes.
And it was like, it would go great for like a week or two.
Yeah.
And then the third week, they're like, I hate this person.
Yeah.
I can't be in the same room as them.
Yeah.
And it made me feel like I had to choose sides in a way.
Yeah.
And I hated that feeling, and I would have hated having to put people in that situation.
Totally.
So, but now, past guest Minnie, shout out, she's saying,
Dude.
date your friends. And now I am in a place where I'm like, I feel more comfortable potentially dating an improviser, a sketch
Yeah.
comedian.
Yeah. Totally.
A stand-up seems scary, but I'm open to it.
I had so many crushes on improvisers that I thought were so funny, and I was really just sort of attracted to their sense of humor.
Yeah.
And but in dating, they were always kind of pieces of shit.
Yes.
I will say that
Yes.
the cult aspect of improv attracts a certain type of personality. And this personality is a white man who maybe was bullied a little bit for being a pussy bitch in high school and went through their life sort of being not getting the sort of perks that they felt entitled to as a younger white man.
Yes.
And, didn't get their dick touched enough. So when they get to be the funniest guy at the improv theater, they are sort of wielding their little newfound community power in a toxic way.
Absolutely. They have a chip on their shoulder, but
Chip
now
on
they
their
have-
shoulder, but now they got a bunch of chuckle fucker little cute girls who are like, "Oh my god, you're so funny! I want to suck your dick," and they're gonna be like, "Sure, but I'm not gonna fucking learn your name." Like that's the kind of douchebag that I am talking.
so
Is infiltrated the improv community in such a terrible way that. Yes, I did sort of have crushes on guys like that in my early 30s when I was doing a lot of comedy. And I'm embarrassed and I'm ashamed. I carry the burden of that knowledge with me wherever I go. I never fucked any of them. So that is something I'm very proud of.
That is great.
But also, part of that was because I sort of kept my eyes on my own paper doing comedy, and I
Yeah.
really just used the theater as a theater. I was like, this is a space where it's free for me to build community, to like make great friends. Some of my closest fucking friendships are out of improv and sketch. Still friends to this day, 20 years later. And I'm going to use this as a space where I can perform and create things and like be a creative, a professional, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's not my playground. However, I look back on that time and I think I wish these douchebags would have at least fucked me. All I was looking for was just to fuck around.
I think, I mean, I get what you're saying for sure. But I also think that you're so lucky.
Yeah, but I also feel like, again, it doesn't, who cares?
A little bit who cares, but also a little bit, what if he ruined your life a little bit? What if in you hooking up with a random improviser?
There is nothing sadder than seeing a beautiful young woman have her entire year destroyed by a fucking Skechers wearing loser nerd with crumbs in his beard.
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking. And I would hate to be one of those statistics.
I think improv is a little bit, it's like high school in a way where it's people fuck once, everybody knows, and then that kind of just goes on your permanent record in a way. Mm-hmm. And it's just okay, they're funny, but it's they also fucked this person, and it ended badly.
Yeah.
And
we all, a lot of my girlfriends that I am still friends with, we sometimes will sit around and sort of regale ourselves with tales of old losers that we used to fuck in the improv community who are now showrunners, because these men fail up and we keep going. As funny as we may be, we stay the same the entire time, unless you're Amy Poehler, who I'm sure has her litany of fucking losers who got in her pants. So I think there's perks to that lifestyle, but also it can be severely traumatic.
I think best case scenario, this is what I heard what happened to somebody. I don't want to get too specific, but it's she was great at improv, so fucking good. She met a doctor, I think, who came to one of her shows.
Ooh.
She's married. She left improv completely because she's living,
a doctor's wife life.
Yeah. I'm fuck.
Does she? So she doesn't do improv anymore.
No,
she doesn't do comedy.
Huh?
Well, see, that's where I'm did you drop your dream to be a doctor's wife, or was your dream to be a doctor's wife?
Yeah. I think maybe it could have gone either way.
Yeah, I would marry the doctor, but then still do improv. And just not worry about the dating part of improv.
That would be. I don't know if I could do that. That would be a little bit.
You don't
weird.
know if you could marry somebody and continue to do improv?
I think a little bit. I would be what I got. It would just be so weird. Something about that is weird to me. It's two different lives.
No.
That's why I never. Never mind.
I will say I did know a handful of married people that I did improv with, and their partners never fucking came to a show.
Yeah.
It was definitely a separate life.
I wonder if they're still together.
You should still, yeah. Oh,
they
yeah.
are?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Pursue your passions even while you're married, everybody. I love this call and this caller. Thank you so much for calling in. To those of you who want to send us a similar voice message, please check our show notes. There are 3 different ways that you can send us a message, and we need those messages to make this very podcast. So please call.
And as always, we'd love for you to rate and review us on iTunes and subscribe to our YouTube channel, also in the show notes.
Yeah, please spread the word about this pod and tell some friends. As they say in improv and comedy, word of mouth is the best form of advertising. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope our wisdom made your life a little bit better, but if it did not, we won't be issuing any refunds. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Agone.